how people would react to that.
It's like Kurosawa making another samurai film, except for he doesn't have a sword.
No, make it like Vader in Empire Strikes Back, where he's fighting Luke with his lightsaber and just blasting Force stuff all over the place. Because their Force battle was like lackluster. You're right. Yoda should be like, have his lightsaber out, pulling stuff down, throwing his lightsaber, Force.
I think those are added. I'm glad Attack of the Clones, and you guys were discussing Attack of the Clones previously, and I actually think that's a great film because of the fact that it.
Wow! Well, I mean, we got another. Sorry. We got another one. Ha! Reel them in.
I mean, I think it's a great film.
Reel them in while they're hot.
Are we gonna have to revisit this thing tonight?
No, there's some key points in there.
I'm so happy.
First of all, I got to see. First and foremost, I got to see Yoda be a badass and jump around with a lightsaber.
And you do realize how many people hated that.
We literally forgot about that.
And do you really
but Neil doesn't like that.
I didn't forget about that. I just didn't think it was that cool. I didn't think Yoda using a lightsaber and flipping around means he's a badass. He's a freaking Jedi Master. He doesn't even need to do that stuff as far as I'm concerned.
What is the first thing that we hear when we hear about a lightsaber? It is the weapon of a Jedi Knight.
What is it? This is the weapon of a Jedi Knight. Not as clumsy or random as a blaster. An elegant weapon in a more civilized age.
That is the first thing that you hear come out of Obi-Wan Kenobi's mouth.
Yeah,
so when anybody says that Yoda shouldn't be using a lightsaber, you are complete. That's the first thing that we heard.
I didn't say shouldn't be, but guess what? He's not a Jedi Knight. He's a Jedi Master. Okay. The fact that he should be able to peel your mind apart without even having to lift a finger or even pull a saber out should be enough, right?
But he doesn't. He doesn't want to. It's Yoda. He is a peaceful being, and he has a very, he cares about. He has compassion, even though he's not supposed to. Whatever, I don't know.
Yeah, but as a Star Wars fan,
he didn't like
the fighting.
I see the Force in a different way. You
want to see him wield it, though.
If you can move rocks, if you can actually move, say even the Force Unleashed, when you look at freaking people pulling Star Destroyers out of the sky and stuff like that. There'd be a little more to his power. You see freaking Luke astral project himself across the galaxy in Last Jedi. You'd think 800 years of Yoda being a Jedi Master, he'd be able to do some little tricks if the Emperor decided to shoot some Force lightning.
When 800 years,
then he'd be able to crawl into his head and squish a few brain cells. Or
okay.
Just
okay. So we're gonna take a second. I'm sorry, everybody. One person. Thank you so much for watching. Mr. Pete channel. Thanks for hanging out with us. No, I was gonna ask you specifically what. So how would you fix the scene? The scene where Yoda is fighting Dooku at the end of Attack of the Clones. How do you fix the scene? They first sit there and go, we can't kill each other by smashing each other with debris from the ceiling. So we're going to we're forced to fight with lightsabers. How do you fix that scene? How does Yoda fight Dooku without using his lightsaber?
And go.
Good question, man. Good question. Because that was kind of the sentence that basically.
No, he pulls out a new Force power. He pulls out a new Force power that we've never seen.
Or it just gets more metaphysical to where they actually, are able to fight each other mentally, in a way that you don't.
So that would be really exciting on screen.
I think it would in a way that you could project, like if you actually gathered your powers of the Force is connected with all things, right? It binds us.
Yeah, sure.
It connects us to all things.
Yeah.
So wouldn't it be cool to see how many things they could actually connect themselves to simultaneously?
I am so with you on that. But it's just like, let's figure it out. Let's paint the picture. Let's make the scene. How would you guys think? How would you guys fix the scene? If you hate the Yoda scene, if you hate that him jumping around like a crazy acrobat with with his little green lightsaber,
I loved it.
I mean, I actually did, and it's one of those things where everybody says that it's Yoda's past that. Yoda should be past that. That's fine, but let's come up with a better idea. So what is better then? What would how would Yoda fight Dooku?
I have an idea.
But here's the thing: is Star Wars is in of itself. It's a space opera set. And it's swashbucklers. It comes from that era that Lucas grew up on. Buster Crabbe, Flash Gordons. You've got old Errol Flynn.
Space cowboys.
It's like it's like you wield. I mean, that's what you want. I wanted to see Yoda swashbuckling. I wanted to see him wielding a saber, and I think that's.
And I mean, honestly, this is my prediction. This is my 2 cents. I think that if Yoda did not, I'm sorry, we're getting to you right now. I'm sorry. If Yoda didn't fight with a lightsaber, I think people would have been really upset. So it's like, if he just said, "No, I will not, me not fight today," or whatever I don't know whatever he says, but it's like if he's not, it makes you wonder how people would react to that.
It's like Kurosawa making another samurai film, except for he doesn't have a sword.
No, make it like Vader in Empire Strikes Back, where he's fighting Luke with his lightsaber and just blasting Force stuff all over the place. Because their Force battle was like lackluster. You're right. Yoda should be like, have his lightsaber out, pulling stuff down, throwing his lightsaber, Force.
I think those are added.
Yes, at least that. Because in all honesty, I don't not want to see Yoda with a lightsaber, but the way in which it was portrayed, it was just like he's just flipping around. It just seems if he was fighting like something that was a 50-foot tall monster or something like that.
Speaking of which, he did do that in canon, which is awesome. There's a great comic of him doing that, fighting a rock monster.
A rancor?
Oh, yeah.
No, it's a giant. It's
a rock.
It's a mountain. Anyway, it's a mountain that becomes a being. It's amazing.
The rancor.
No, but but in and of it, that's what I'm saying is that.
I love that track, dude.
Yoda not wielding a lightsaber. I mean. The film, the original film is based off of The Hidden Fortress by Kurosawa. And Kurosawa did a bunch of great films that weren't samurai films, but that was his thing, was samurai films. And that's where the essence of the Jedi came from, samurai. Samurai's got to have a sword. I mean, what's a samurai without a sword? Tom Cruise?
Yeah, man. Yeah. And I think the biggest thing that most people had issues with was how many, somersaults he did in the air, and he probably did about 700 of them, which is fine. It's like, what do you do then? It's like I bet he could have probably done, maybe if you wanted to do it cooler, like have him move really fast on the ground and just have him do really cool stuff that's on the ground, or I don't know. It's
like Ewan and Qui-Gon did. That would have actually been somewhat decent if he actually pulled the cane out and was walking real slow, and then they actually just did these super quick maneuvers. I mean, whatever. I mean,
we could talk about it forever.
What's the quote?
Honestly, I would love to hear.
800 years old you reach.